And today's episode of the Riderflex podcast is sponsored by our friends at Ready List Sports. Really love what Chad Freehoff, the CEO, and his team are doing over there. It's an interactive playbook, learning and testing technology designed to drive engagement, comprehension, and safety. If you're a football fan of any age, youth, high school, college, pro, we encourage you to check them out at readylistsports.com. Hey folks, Steve Irvin here, and on today's episode of the Riderflex podcast, hey, just be completely honest with the recruiter when they're asking you questions. If you are, you're going to save yourself a lot of time, a lot of heartache. You're going to save the recruiter time. You're going to save everybody time if you're just completely honest. A lot of times recruiters, search firms, they're hired by clients, and the clients tell us, hey, I want a candidate with these specific experiences and skill sets. This is what I'm looking for. And most of the time they'll say, hey, look, these things right here, like these 5 things, these are mandatory. If they don't have these things, I don't want to talk to the candidate. Now they'll include some other stuff that's optional, but a lot of times they'll say these things right here, these 5 things, they got to have them. And recruiters are reaching out to you, the candidate, to figure out whether or not you have those. Now, sometimes, well, most of the time, we can tell whether or not you match those requirements by looking at your LinkedIn profile or your resume, but sometimes it's cloudy. We don't know for sure. So we'll reach out to you. We'll say, hey, Johnny, listen, I know you've sold furniture your whole life. I can tell by looking at your LinkedIn profile, but can you just clarify for me, have you sold coffee tables? That's what I need to know. And then you answer the recruiter back and you say, well, Mr. and Mrs. Recruiter, I've sold all kinds of furniture my whole life for a bunch of different furniture companies. I'm going to look at that answer and I'm going to go, yes, but have you sold coffee tables? Because that's what I need to know. Now, I know that can be frustrating, right? As a candidate, you're like, yeah, I sold sofas, I sold beds, I sold lamps, sold everything just about in furniture. So you just figure, you can sell coffee tables too. You probably can. But I need to know whether or not you've already sold them. So you just might as well answer the question. I know it's frustrating, right? As a recruiter, I know you can probably sell coffee tables. You know you can probably sell coffee tables, but my client's not bending. My client wants somebody that has sold coffee tables in the past, period. They're not bending on it. So you might as well just answer the question. You might as well answer it honestly, because we're going to save ourselves a bunch of time. This happens a lot, right? When we're talking to candidates. And I'm guessing any recruiters listening to this podcast can relate. You're trying to just quickly determine certain things from the candidate because it's a process, right? You're just trying to determine, like, just tell me, if I say, hey, have you painted walls green? Don't send me an answer back and say, well, I've been painting walls for 20 years. I've painted all kinds of colors. Then I'm going to go, yes, but have you painted walls green? Yes or no? Oh, anyway, there are times when the client wants very specific things and the recruiter's trying to determine that. And if you'll just answer honestly and quickly and swiftly, you'll save everybody a ton of time. And there is your Riderflex episode of the day. The Riderflex podcast features entrepreneurs, business executives, and the stories behind how they got there, as well as daily tips on career advice and job interviews. Our show can be heard just about anywhere these days, but you can visit riderflex.com and click on the podcast page to hear all the previous episodes and learn more about the recruiting and consulting services we provide. Contact us at the email address info@riderflex.com or 888-964-5876. Thanks so much for listening, and if you enjoy our show, please be sure to subscribe to our channel and like the episodes.